no, no. That's not a lesson in how that is supposed to be done, by the way.
So my feet had fallen off the pedals there, and I was just riding down right on the saddle, a little uncomfortable. Anyways, a few weeks ago, we went out to West Branch State Park. It was the first time for a couple of us riding those mountain bike trails out there. It's a reservoir, a dammed up river, and the trails kind of wind around the coastline there before making a loop back inland. So it's a lot of up and down, very, very curvy, and yeah, no considerably big climbs, but it turned out being lots of elevation anyways. We rode 11 miles and it was 1,100 feet. Pretty climby for something that doesn't have any actual long climbs. Everybody had warned us about how rooty these trails were. We wanted to try them anyways. I was on a full rigid, so I was riding my Gunnar with its 700C by 55 millimeter Renaers tires. Buddy Ben was on his Gorilla Monsoon and reasonably wide tires too, but we were the two on full rigid. Everybody else had hardtails, so front suspension. Definitely, I would recommend going out here on a mountain bike. It was extremely rooty, as everyone had said. The first few miles, like a challenge just to not put a foot down. That was kind of the way I was seeing it. So it was slow going mostly for me, but I was able to ride it. But there were redeeming sections that, you know, you would get some flow and able to build up some speed and wind around the curves and hit the descents and make the climbs. I'm not saying I made it through all of this stuff without hopping off at all. I did a little bit or had to put a foot down and push through. It's very, it's a rough surface, as I'm saying. I can't oversell that idea. I wouldn't go out here on your typical gravel bike, 42 mil tires or anything like that. If you do, more power to you. I just don't even think it would be enjoyable though. Yeah, definitely hardtail territory, maybe even full suspension. You guys who are regular mountain bikers or anyone who's been out here a number of times, let me know what you think the optimal bike is for these trails. Like I said, I still enjoyed it. Like the scenery is kind of cool, just really curvy, but there's narrow bridges too. There's come around a curve and go over a bridge. There's also some rocks on the early parts of the trail, or the first 3/4 of the trail, I should say. Very challenging terrain. I would still go and do it again though, except for the loop we went out and did, which sits a little separate. It's called the Quarry Loop. That was, as someone told me later, I think through Strava, like a hand-laid trail of rocks. A ton of this was more of a hike. There are parts I was able to ride, but I was probably off the bike more than I was on the bike. It's not a lot like sometimes even when they make a rock garden, the rocks tend to be flat and there's a line through them. Like these are round rocks. Some of the rocks roll out of place, and then there are some more rock garden feeling type things. It was wild. This was the roughest surface I'd ever attempted to ride on. And like I said, a lot of it I didn't even attempt to ride. It was too much, or it would have been going like so slow and then constantly putting a foot down. It was like one of those where, yeah, the hiking decision is better here. I think Ben said this, and I agree, that if I went back alone, I would skip that loop. You know, I might go do it again if everyone was doing it and I knew I could keep up reasonably hiking. I did ask my buddy Mike, who's our most experienced friend with mountain biking, I would say, and who was riding a hardtail, again, front suspension, because we got separated. I'm like, did you ride all that? And he told me he didn't ride it all. So again, that's why it, you know, stokes my curiosity of what you guys, people who go out there, would recommend the bike you'd want to ride here is. Again, it was a fun day out. 11 miles, 1,100 feet. We missed one little bit of a loop towards the edge that we didn't realize, but that was probably only, I'd say, less than a mile. And then there was a couple other parts that had like two parts that had like parallel tracks where you could choose which way you went. But we rode almost everything out there. So like I said, I'll try anything once, but I would probably try it again. The other cool thing about West Branch State Park is after our ride, we drove over to the swimming beach and went for a swim. So you've got swimming there, and then on the other side of the lake, there's a campground, so there's camping there. So one of the things I was thinking, if I went back, that might be the move. That might be what I would enjoy, to ride my bike out there, you know, camp, have a fire, get to go swimming, go mountain biking the next day, swim, and then ride back. Make the whole thing more worthwhile for me anyways. I would still go back on the Gunner. I'd still do it again. It was challenging. It was fun. Like I said, just probably, unless everybody was going that way, skip the Quarry Loop. This is not a place to go if you're a beginner, I wouldn't say. Very, very technical, most technical trail I've ever ridden. Again, I haven't been out west mountain biking, and I haven't gone to Sedona, so, you know, that scale changes. As I'm recording this, I have friends out in Jake's Rocks, but even most of, like, Jake's Rocks in Pennsylvania, when I've ridden there, the rocks are much more rideable. I guess there's a couple Black Diamond trails I haven't done there that are downhill and rocky. So in my experience, this is the toughest ride yet. And that's about it. Yeah, let me know any comments, anything below. If you want to support the channel, check out the little store we have below. We have some cool stickers. There's some t-shirts. Consider a channel membership. That helps out a lot. Have a lot of fun doing this, so I appreciate any support or just you guys watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.